So guys, the confidence is out of the roof, bruv, these days. Confidence is out of the roof. And I ascribe that only to grace. I ascribe that to grace because that's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. I don't want anything else, man. That's all I care about is grace. Because what else is there, man? What else is there? Nothing. Nothing, baby. There is nothing out there in the world that I want other than grace. That being said, well, good quote in the Bible. If the world hated me, they will hate you. And if the world persecuted me, they will persecute you. And if they killed me, they will also kill you as well. Now, why do I make mention of these quotes from the Lord Christ? Because at the end of the day, this is exactly what you will face when you are walking in tandem. You're walking side by side with the Most High. When you're walking with the Most High, this is what you're going to experience, guys. And the more faithful you walk, the more the tests will come. That being said, they're tests. That doesn't mean that it's the end all. That doesn't mean that you're going to get abandoned. I mean, look at the prophets in the Old Testament. I ain't saying I'm one of them, and I'm not even saying that you're one of them either. I'm just saying that, look, they were not without help. God intervened in all of their circumstances to help them get through the difficulties that they were going through. And even if they died a noble death, and they died happy. See, most people, I think, die unhappy. They die with regrets. They die with unfulfilled promises and unfinished business. I don't think you die like that if you're walking with God. I don't think you die like that. I think you die fulfilled. I think you die with a heart that's at peace. You know, the flesh might be in pain, as our Lord showed. Flesh might be in pain. Body might be in pain. You might be in deprivation, or you might be in physical or mental harm. Well, I don't think you can go through mental harm, to be honest, on this journey. I think the mental just reflects another aspect of the physical. Really not much to be alarmed there, to be honest. Obviously, you've got to allow grace to come in. You can't just keep being the same you that indulges in sin. I'm not saying that you're going to be without it. You will always have sin. But indulging sin is another issue, and you can always do that less. Sin will always be there. Think of sin as being a motor function in your brain. You're wired to do it. You are gonna sin. What does sin mean, guys? Sin means to separate oneself from God, to separate oneself from reality, to separate oneself from the present moment, and from the consciousness and the purity that God has given to us all in our natural state. Right? Naturally, people are good. I've seen it. I've seen it my whole life. I've seen it my whole life, guys. Kids see it. Kids see the natural good in people. In fact, kids don't have a conception of evil. That's why when kids get abused sometimes, they don't even know they're getting abused. I was abused as a child. I didn't know I was getting abused. I thought it was normal. Well, I didn't think it was normal, but I definitely didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Yeah? Kids don't have a conception of evil, because evil is very unnatural. Evil is a corruption, and kids are innocent, which means not naive and stupid. No, naturally we're good and innocent. That's our natural state. That's how God made us. We fell. Remember, we fell with the Garden of Eden, Garden of something. I don't know how you say it now. Garden of Eden. Why am I saying even? Eden. The Garden of Eden. We fell. We ate the apple. We fell. We ate from the tree of knowledge and good and evil. We fell, guys. We fell from the natural state. And when we fell, we were corrupted. And it's the corruption that is responsible for the evil. Now, as someone, yourself, who is walking on this path, you see that. You see good and evil. You see the world and in its fallen state, and you know what state it's supposed to be in. Guys, what does Christ say? He says that they hate me because I see the evil, because I point it out to them and I reflect it back to them. You're like a psychotherapist walking around in people's shadow and you reflect it back to them, guys. You will, as you walk this path further and further and more, you will, as the faith becomes stronger and the doubt becomes weaker, the world will begin to hate you. Because who does the world belong to? It belongs to the Prince of Lies. You will be persecuted, you will be humiliated, you will be attacked, not necessarily physically, although it can be physical, but not necessarily. It's spiritual, guys. They're going to try and break your spirit. I'm telling you this to remind you of the fact that you're in spiritual warfare. It's not a physical warfare. I mean, I go to the gym and I do martial arts, which trains my spirit more than it does my body, although it trains the body, but the spirit's really what's getting trained there. I go there for training, for spiritual training, because the real war is spiritual. It ain't physical. Who cares about the physical, man? Flesh and blood can give, what's that matter? It's clay, it's mud, it's nothing. It's you know, manure comes from the ground. Flesh and blood ain't nothing. That's not what the war is. The war's spiritual. If your spirit can be broken and you become despondent and hateful when you lose your faith, that's where the enemies want. That's where you've fallen. That's where you've lost. And that's precisely where it's heading. If, of course, you don't get your act together and you don't start fighting back internally, that is. Like, well, Jesus tells you how to fight. Jesus tells you how to fight, and he does say, I did not come to bring peace, but I came to tell the truth, man. That's him, man. That's Christ. And of course, Christ, I'm a Muslim, so I do see Christ as a prophet, a very, very important prophet, but a prophet nonetheless. That doesn't make his station less. I'm just removing the dogma of Christianity. I'm just taking away the extra bit that Christians, they fall off the path when they start having dogmatizing and they start worshipping Christ. That's not what Christ was asking you to do. He was asking you to worship the Father. And yes, he said, I'm a medium to the Father. So yeah, if you believe in me, you will get to the Father. Just like every prophet, if you believe in them and have faith in what they're saying, you will get to the Father. It's just that he was the recent one in that time, so that's why he said, believe in me. I am the Father in one, but then he also says that I can do nothing but the permission of my Father in one verse in John. He says, I can do nothing by myself, but through the will of the Father. And I say what I say, and it's been judged by the Father, and that's why it's true. It's true because it's judged by the Father, because I don't say it to please myself, I say it to please my Father. These are not my words, these are Christ's words. And dogma kind of gets in the way a little bit of that, and yeah, anyway, his words are still transcendent and they still matter. Eckhart Tolle is a great one to listen to as well in terms of this, and Roy Masters. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point I'm trying to make is the attacks will come, the fiery arrows of the devil will come. You just need to have faith in God. Get that faith rock solid. Pray unceasingly. If you're a Muslim, guys, if you're a real Muslim and you're spiritual in terms of your relationship with God, 5 prayers are a minimum, man. I'd recommend you do more. I'd recommend you do that vigil prayer, the night prayer. I recommend you do a prayer maybe before Fajr as well. I'm not saying I'll necessarily do it, but I'm saying it's good to add in a few more repetitions in your prayer life, just to get that bath in, that spiritual bath in, you know. Because really that's what you need to constantly immerse yourself in, because the sin, the attacks and all of it gets too much, man. And pray to God. Pray, be with God, have faith, have more faith than you can ever imagine. Have more faith than you can ever imagine, guys. Deepen that faith and ask God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Be silent, seek his will, and you will be tempted to seek your own will. Easy path, weak path, yeah, whatever. Forget about that. Thy will be done. Again, I'm a Muslim, but I'm using Christ's words to illustrate and help this battle that we're in against, that we're going through every day. Okay, so hopefully this video was a little bit more encouraging for you, and I hope everything is going well so far.